Hello everyone, I bet you're wondering why there's been no content the last 6 weeks or so. Well, Henry's left and I don't blame him. I have to go back to the very beginning to tell you the whole story of how Pretty Good Gaming is pretty much dead. F in the chat, everyone. I started this channel as Gareth Evans Gaming. I was doing it in my spare time. My main thing on YouTube is guitar videos and lessons. I don't know if you've seen my stuff on YouTube, but that's my main thing. I started the gaming channel as a bit of an aside. I was really interested in gaming. I have been for years. Thought I'd just make, gaming's where the money is on YouTube. I'll start making gaming videos for fun. I thought I did. Gareth Evans Gaming. I had my kids on to begin with. Minecraft with my kids was the video. Playthroughs of The Last of Us and Outlast and some of the popular games that people were playing, or YouTubers were playing. And then it was all going fine. Wouldn't make any money off it. It wasn't getting loads of views, a few hundred views per video. It was fine. It was fun. It was just generating gaming content, decent. And then 2016, I hired Mike. Those of you who remembered, OG Mike. He was a guy with a very specific set of skills. He was a gamer at heart, and he was very analytical, and he was a reporter, journalist. And he wrote a couple of scripts. He made them into videos. They were well received. So we were experimenting together with the format. And we hit on a format that worked really well, which is just me and him wrote a script, and me and him were hosting it to the screen, a trending news topic, let's say. Two goofy guys talking shit about Call of Duty to a screen. That seemed to hit really well with the audience. People started subscribing, started watching. By December, if you look at this chart here, this was Gareth Evans Gaming, flatline. When Mike joined here, by December 2016, we were making 2.6 million views. And it was unbelievable feeling. The fact that we were just been experimenting, talking shit to a camera, and it worked out. We made some money that month. So for the first time, we were successful on the gaming channel, and that went on for 6 months. Decided, well, this is working out pretty well. Let's take on a couple of interns. Jake and Liam came aboard, and then Liam was the writer. Jake was an editor, stroke another host in the end, and a bit of a writer too. And then Liam kind of dabbled. Either way, it worked really well. And for 6 months at the end of 2017, we were raking in the views, 8.8 million views in June 2017. And for the 6 months, we were flying high. The experiment worked. I took on another guy called Mike Abbott, who did the editing, helped us behind the scenes. We started streaming and things like that. At this time, I was also hiring a girl called Emmy, who was working with me on the music channel. So I had 5 staff, and life was good come November, December 2017. Something happened 2 weeks into December in 2017. YouTube flicked the switch. We made 7.1 million views in November. And December, halfway through, we flicked the switch, and we were going from 50 to 100,000 views per video to 15 to 20,000 views per video. And by January, the revenue we generated off the gaming videos dipped by 40% on the previous month. You can see December and January. And that was a big shock. Things started to get stressful for me because I had to dip into my own pocket to pay wages then, because I had this 5 staff. We were relying on the revenue we were getting for the previous 6 months. Why wouldn't you? You're getting a pretty steady income. Someone flicks a switch on the back end of YouTube, 40% revenue cut, just like that, out of nowhere. Killer, absolute killer. Come June, July, having dipped into my pocket to pay the staff for so long, I had to make a decision. Midway through August, you can see there, July was 25% the revenue which we were relying on in the last quarter, let's say the last 3 months of 2017 on average. it was 25% down in July. Come August, I made the decision I can't afford it anymore personally. It was taking its toll on my personal situation, more my wife. It just wasn't doable. So I made the decision we had to lay off Mike Abbott, Jake, and Liam. The hardest decision I've had to make, and probably one of my worst days of my life, having to let those guys go. Guys I'd spent a lot of time with over the past year and a half, gotten pretty close to, had a decent relationship with, and then you have to do that to them. Killer, absolute killer. I just remember as a roller coaster of emotions. It was something, the worst thing I had to do, and the worst experience I had to go through. So it wasn't great. So I was left with just Mike again, basically going back to how it was before everyone joined. But then Mike decided that it was time to move on. I don't blame him. We had a way of working. It was fraught for the last 6 months. I was really stressed. I can imagine him wanting to move on. Making gaming news videos on YouTube isn't easy. It does get repetitive and grimy. This is what a lot of people don't understand, is how much hard work it is making videos on YouTube, especially when it's news, especially in the gaming industry. You're covering a lot of the same stories, a lot of the same companies over and over again. It gets kind of very repetitive, and I don't blame him for wanting out at that point. Obviously, he had plans with Liam and Jake too. That's it. All the best to them. Shake him on the hand, and good luck in future. But that left me with nobody to help me make content with, which is why Henry came in, and he came in September. So by October we started making videos again. We were doing all right, but then the channel never really took off. The subscribers were leaving because they were used to having the old crew, and they subscribed for a very specific type of video, and we weren't producing the same type of videos with the same people anymore, same faces. So from that point, I think we reached a peak of 320,000 subscribers, and we were losing 1,000 subscribers a month from then on. It isn't great, but I can understand it. People. It's not the content people subscribe for. So there was a bloat of subscribers that were subscribed for a different type of content. So they were always going to leave, and it was always going to settle down at some point. The views never returned, though. However, YouTube never flicked the switch back on for us. And for the past couple of years, I've been struggling financially again, dipping into my own pocket to keep Henry employed. Essentially, a couple of months ago, I said to Henry, we can't afford the current outgoings anymore. We're going to have to scale it down to only pay you as much as we're making off Patreon and YouTube, which meant his hours came down a lot. His income was greatly reduced, and he said, well, that's undoable for me. I pretty much have to leave to get a proper paying job, because this isn't it anymore. And I understand that decision. I completely understand it. Again, he's been doing gaming news videos on YouTube for so long on his own as well, and he's not getting paid enough for it. I admire him for going on for so long, I'll be honest, but that's how it is. He decided to leave 6 weeks ago. I let the Patreon guys know, and I've paused the Patreon. I'm about to cancel the Patreon all altogether, and that's where I am. That's the end of Pretty Good Gaming. Essentially, that's it. Rip. It was a roller coaster. It was partially amazing, partially devastating, and it was its own story. It is what it is. You've got to move on. Essentially, you've got to make your peace with it. I think I have. I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this roller coaster. Everyone who watched, anyone who supported on Patreon and subscribed, everyone who contributed to the content, be it Jake, Mike, Liam, Henry, and all the interns who were part of it too. Thanks, but it didn't work out. So all the best, everybody. Hope it works out for you guys. So this is Pretty Good Gaming's signing off video, I guess. What to do now? I mean, I can continue making gaming content. I probably will. By the way, I've still got the guitar videos, which I'm doing all on my own now, and that's doing pretty well. I can manage on the income from that. I don't need, but the problem is that takes up so much of my time. I can't dedicate a lot of time to the gaming side. I could carry on trying to make news videos for you guys with the hope that one day it becomes fulfilling again and YouTube start recommending the videos in the algorithm and make a revenue out of it. That's not going to happen. Realistically, it's soul destroying when this happens, and I've been doing it for too long. What I want to do now is just move on and maybe just try making gaming type videos that I enjoy making. The reason we started making gaming videos in the first place is because Mike was so good and he was a journalist, right? It doesn't mean I have to keep on doing that anymore. One thing I do want to say is, if you're not into it, if you just subscribe for the gaming news, and just subscribe for Henry or Jake or Mike or Liam, unsubscribe. Do me a favor, do me a solid, draw a line as well, and unsubscribe. If you're subscribed to this channel, you get served videos every so often, depending on if YouTube want to serve the subscribers my videos. And you don't click on them because you don't fancy it, because it's just this goofy guy making shit posts or whatever I'm gonna make, and you scroll past it. YouTube thinks, this content's no good. I'm not going to recommend it in the algorithm. So that really hurts. That really hurts the reach of the video. So do me a favor, do yourself a favor, just unsubscribe, and no hard feelings. But if you're willing to, I don't know, humor me with my little experiment going forward, there's going to be a comeback on this channel. There's going to be an old face coming on this channel in the next video, and I can't wait. The biggest comeback since Ronaldo, and it's going to be super sweet. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but for the next video, we're going to have a very special guest just to experiment, just to see how that goes, and that should be coming pretty soon. Hopefully, recording that today. Probably have to rebrand the channel. Pretty Gaz Gaming, PGG, Pretty Grumpy Ass Gamer. I mean, I was always the grumpy one. I was always the one screaming about Nintendo pre-orders, cancelling it on a video. If anyone remembers that, I was effing and blinding. That was my shtick, right? That was my character. I've got a lot of rage about the industry in my heart. As you know, we've rallied against a lot of the shit in the industry for years, and that came from the heart. We weren't clickbaiting for the majority part. It comes from the heart. You know, you see something you don't agree with in principle, and you've got to fight against it. You got to rally against it. You want standards to be better. That's what you're fighting for. That's what you're trying to achieve. But that is that. Channel's dead. Patreon's cancelled. Rip PGG, and let's all move on and see what happens. I hope you guys are okay with that. I've made my peace with it. It is what it is. It's the past now. Let's move forward. And all the best to you guys. I'll see you in the next one.